The story begins with Sam, who had a special ability, sitting on a plane. In fact, Sam can smell anything and visualize its past and all the events related to it. And because of this smelling ability, he was given the name Sniffer. Sam was just sitting in his seat when another passenger boarded the plane with a plaster cast on his arm. As soon as he got close to Sam started to get a strange smell from the passenger. Hearing it, he knew all in vision. How? Before coming here, the passenger first wrapped a bandage on his arm, then covered it with a layer of plastic, and placed a small detonator on top of that layer. Meaning, this man has brought a bomb hidden in his plaster cast, on top of which he has also placed metal frames to further increase the blast radius. This means that the passenger has come to blow up this plane. Sam identified the passenger with his sense of smell, and he had these visions and made these calculations in just 5 seconds. So Sam immediately calls the flight attendant and tells her everything, that the man in the back is on this plane with a bomb. Hearing this, the flight attendant quickly calls the captain. Sam tells the captain the same thing, how the passenger sitting in seat 32C has a bomb and the plaster cast on his arm. It's so powerful that it could blow up an entire building, so nothing would be left of this plane. However, the captain now looks at the passenger, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. So, the captain told Sam that every passenger has to go through several security checks before boarding a plane. Besides, it's not that easy for anyone to bring a bomb onto a plane, so he doesn't believe what Sam is saying. The captain thought Sam might be a psycho and that he couldn't harass a passenger based on one person's suspicion alone. Moreover, doing so mid-flight would cause the other passengers to panic. So, the captain started threatening Sam instead, saying that if he said anything further or spread rumors, he would call security and have him removed from the plane. Sam now explains to the captain that his sense of smell is far superior to that of an average human, which is why he was nicknamed Sniffer. Sam further explained that he could smell acetone on the passenger, a substance used in making bombs. So if the captain doesn't listen to him, all 208 passengers on the plane will be killed. However, the captain still didn't trust him, so to convince them, Sam starts smelling the pilot and the flight attendant and tells them that exactly 35 minutes ago, the flight attendant and the captain were together in the plane's cockpit, meaning they were being intimate. Twice, in fact, and their bodies still carried each other's scent. Hearing this, the captain and the flight attendant were shocked, because Sam was telling the absolute truth. It was also confirmed for them that Sam could really find out anything just by smelling. So, the captain now rushes to call the police. And thus, Sam once again saved himself and 208 other people from dying in this attack. With this ability, he has become the world's greatest investigator. He solves every mystery by smelling out every crime. But today was just a bad day for Sam. As soon as he got home, his ex-wife, Gina, called him with bad news. Their son, Alex, had been caught selling drugs at school, and the principal was going to expel him. So, Sam quickly goes to his son Alex's school. The principal explained that Alex was caught in the school garage under the influence of drugs, and the teachers also found a pouch of drugs on him. So, according to school rules, he would be expelled. However, Sam had full faith in his son, so he started asking Alex if the drugs were his, but Alex didn't give any answer. Principal said it was his fault, so he stayed silent. Alex's mother also arrived at the office, and she starts to check Alex's arm. She wanted to know if her son was taking any drug injections. To which Sam tells her that when he arrived at the office, he didn't smell anything like an injection, meaning their son isn't taking any injections. Rather, Alex had only taken a few puffs of marijuana, a mistake kids his age often make. After this, Sam picks up the drug pouch and starts to smell it, from which he catches the scent of another student in addition to his son's. This meant Alex wasn't alone. Sam now headed to the classroom to find the other kid. However, the principal also warned that he couldn't disturb the other children and couldn't just barge into the classroom like that. But Sam didn't listen to him. He went straight into the chemistry lab, where many kids from Alex's class were practicing. Then, he started going to each kid one by one, smelling them, and finally stopped at a student sitting at the back. He had found what he was looking for. Sam then completely empties the kid's bag onto the table, where the principal also saw that there were even more drug pouches inside. The principal realized that the real dealer wasn't Alex, but this boy. The principal was also shocked to see how quickly Sam had solved the whole thing. As he was leaving, Sam told the principal that the pouch didn't contain real drugs but a low-quality counterfeit, so neither the school nor the police could take any action. And hearing this, all the students started laughing at the principal. Today, Sam used his ability to save his son from being expelled. In private, Alex also tells them that the boy was his friend, which is why he didn't name him, to protect him. However, Sam explains to him that relationships shouldn't get in the way of calling out what's wrong, even if that wrong deed is done by a family member. Days later, police summoned Sam again for a new case. A police officer named Victor often calls Sam for his help with unsolved crimes. Now he told Sam about today's case. How someone shot 4 soldiers in a single night at a military hospital. And now there's no clue about the killer. So how will they find him? So, Sam first investigates the medical staff. He smelled the doctor who was on duty. Sam found out that he had just operated on a patient whose kidney was damaged. Then Sam smelled the nurse here and said that she was also on duty. She had slept on the table the entire night yesterday. Which means, according to Sam, these two cannot be the killers. After this, Sam goes into the same crime room. He took a deep breath and finally got the killer's scent. Now, according to what Sam could discern from the smell, the killer's age is between 20 and 25. He had also drunk alcohol before this crime, perhaps to gather the courage to kill them all. Also, there was the scent of a cream used to heal injuries on his body. So the doctor now takes out yesterday's medicine record. They found out that one of their soldiers had taken this cream just yesterday. So Sam and Officer Victor immediately go to that barrack and start looking for that soldier. But when Sam smelled the soldier, there was no smell of alcohol on his body for the past several days. Which means, according to Sam, he cannot be the killer either. Then, the soldier sadly reveals to the police and Sam that the head instructor of their facility is very angry and cruel. He says that the head of this facility often beats him and others who have been recruited here from other cities for no reason. So Sam and Victor now both went to the head instructor, Jason. However, Jason now refuses to even admit that any bullying happens here. Just then, Jason's wife came from inside to get some money for shopping, and Jason speaks very lovingly to his wife and gives her the money, which made Officer Victor think that Jason was a very good man. Outside, the soldiers were still training normally. None of them mentioned anything about bullying either. So after a while, Police Officer Victor shows Sam the initial report. He began to explain how last night, when the barrack lights were turned off, 2 soldiers started drinking alcohol secretly in the kitchen because doing so is not allowed in the facility. Then after some time, one of the soldiers went to get another bottle hidden in the warehouse. At that very moment, a man wearing a mask entered the facility, dressed in black clothes so he wouldn't be visible in the dark of the night, and he had an advanced gun. The soldier got scared seeing him, as if he knew him from before, and then the killer fired shots at the soldier. Meanwhile, the other soldier who had gone to the warehouse got scared after hearing the gunshots and locked the door from the inside. The killer tried to open that door, but when the door didn't open, he shot at the lock and ran outside. And by the time the patrolling soldiers came inside from outside, the killer had already shot a total of 4 people and fled. Now, knowing this, Sam told Officer Victor that the killer got into the facility very easily, which means he must have known a shortcut beforehand. He specifically chose and killed these 4 soldiers. He didn't kill the others, which means he knew these 4 beforehand. Upon further investigation in the kitchen, Sam found a black woolen thread. It had the killer's scent on it, which Sam smelled and immediately said that he was getting the scent of synthetic leather from it. The kind of leather that is used to make bus seats. And the smell of the leather is very strong, which means the killer must have come here in a new bus. So now, if they find that new bus, perhaps the killer will also be caught. Meanwhile, at the same moment, Facility Chief Jason's wife gets a text from an unknown number telling her to meet him at 6 p.m. tonight. Seeing her from a distance, Jason started asking what happened, but his wife lies that it was a message from her friend and that she will go shopping with her. This means that the facility's head, Jason's wife, has a big secret that she is hiding from everyone. Meanwhile, Sam and Officer Victor had reached the bus control center, and here they find the newest bus of this center and have it stopped. Victor asked the driver if he had seen a man wearing black clothes last night. The driver immediately remembered the man because he was repeatedly covering his face with his scarf and seemed the strangest on the bus. So the driver now tells Sam and the police the location from where that man had boarded. With this, Sam and Inspector Victor finally reach the killer's house. They both enter very cautiously, but now there was no one there. Just then, Sam took a deep breath and started to smell a gun, which means they are in the right direction. Then they found a black bag containing guns, bullets, and a diary. This diary belonged to a soldier, which means the killer is also a soldier named Roger. In this diary, there was a photo of the killer Roger and head coach Jason's wife. This means there is some connection between Jason's wife and this killer. Meanwhile, at 6, Chief Jason's wife goes to meet the same killer, Roger, and from here the story takes a twist. She wasn't Jason's wife. She was Killer Roger's wife. Roger had once gone to train at that same facility, where head Jason took a liking to his beautiful wife and forcibly snatched her away from him. Then he told his other soldiers to disfigure Roger's face as well. But when they took him to be killed, Roger somehow managed to escape with his life, whereas his wife thought he was dead. So now Roger had to take his revenge and get his wife back. So last night he broke into the facility and killed the same 4 soldiers who had previously disfigured his face. But he couldn't kill the head there, Jason. Now the real husband and wife were just meeting when Jason came from behind. Actually, he had seen the girl reading the message, which made him suspicious, and he followed her here. Now head Jason angrily says that this time he will kill them both right here. So, Soldier Roger, to save his wife's life, tells his wife to run and starts fighting the armed Jason himself. But in the middle of this clash, head Jason shot him and Roger dies right there. On the other hand, the girl ran from there and somehow hid in a warehouse, but after a short while, head Jason followed her here as well. But now, angered by her husband's death, she attacks Jason from behind with an iron rod and keeps hitting him until that bastard dies. Now Victor and Sam were here too, but since Sam had found out everything, that the facility's head, Jason, was a real bastard, he now deliberately blames the woman's dead husband for killing Jason, meaning that this time, despite knowing the whole truth, Sam decided to save this woman, because this woman has already faced many troubles in her life. No, a few weeks after this case, Sam is called to investigate another murder case. At the crime scene, he was told that the victim was the owner of a very large company and was found dead alone at his home this morning. He had been poisoned. The strange thing was that whoever had poisoned him had not even left his handprints here. After arriving here, Sam first smells the police officer standing outside and tells him that his age is between 25 and 26 years old, though is heavily addicted to drugs. Hearing this about himself, the police officer was shocked, so Sam tells him that he first has to deliberately tell people about his smelling abilities so that they don't think he's crazy. From here, Victor told Sam that the police have not found anything in this murder case yet, so he will have to do something. Sam now went into the living room of this house and started to smell it, and then the smell spreading there started to form a shape in front of his eyes, which is also called scent visualization. From this, Sam immediately figured out that this is a clear-cut murder case because the coffee the victim drank before dying had a chemical in it, and its overdose killed the victim instantly. After this, Sam now smells cigarettes from the sofa in this house, and according to Sam, because the victim had a heart condition, he couldn't have smoked cigarettes himself. This means that someone else besides the victim was present here at that time, and it's highly likely that they are the killer. Sam now also tells from the smell that the killer is a man whose age is between 45 and 50. But the killer was about to quit smoking because he could smell nicotine pouches along with cigarettes, and nicotine pouches are used to quit smoking. Sam added that after killing the owner of this company, the killer fled from here with his bag, which contained notes worth millions of dollars. All these notes were printed in a bank in Berlin because it is the only bank in the whole world that uses aluminum oxide while printing notes. Soon after arriving here, Sam quickly figured out everything. So Sam now tells the police that whoever killed this man for money should be looked for in a smoking cessation center. After this, just as he was finishing today's investigation and leaving for home, a cat jumped on him, and Sam was allergic to cats, so he immediately started having an allergic attack. Then he went home and quickly started taking allergy medicine. Then Victor calls him about the case and tells him that he found out there are more than 500 smoking cessation centers in their city. With this clue, they'll never find the killer again, and it's also possible that with every delay by the police, the killer might flee the country with all that money. But Sam now had an allergic reaction, due to which his smelling ability would not work properly. Therefore, he cannot leave the house for at least the next 3 days. So he told Victor that he would have to do the further investigation himself. Victor now first goes alone to the company of the murdered man, where he was the owner. Then he called the director of this company, because Sam had said that this whole crime was for money, and he found out that the company's director had fought with the company's owner a few months ago. So Victor suspects that this director might have had his company's owner killed. But now, during the investigation, he found out that last night this director was having fun with girls at a bar, and his call records are also clean, which means he is not the killer. After this, Victor had no more clues, and he couldn't figure out how to solve this case without Sam's help. So Victor himself took Sam to the hospital the next day so that Sam could get well soon and help him with the case, although Sam didn't like going to the doctor, because doctors often gave him medicines that affected his ability to smell. He usually stayed home when he had allergies. Still, this time Victor took Sam to a female doctor, Jenny, who was different from the other doctors. Dr. Jenny first checks inside his nose with a flashlight and immediately points out that Sam often wears a clip on his nose. He is allergic to cats, and his nasal senses are much more sensitive and sharp than an average person's. Therefore, this allergy has a greater effect on his nose. Now Sam was also surprised to meet Dr. Jenny because she was as intelligent and logical as he was. Sam now starts smelling them too and revealing their details so that he can explain his ability to the doctor. Sam explained about the doctor that she is also 35 years old and lives alone. She has no husband, no partner, and no children. After this, Sam mentioned that the doctor likes to swim in the pool often because the smell of chlorine from her body is very strong. In the end, he prefers only strong coffee. So, despite allergies, Sam is still pretty sharp right now too. Hearing this, Dr. Jenny was also surprised. Then, after learning everything about Sam's ability in him, she prescribes some medicines that would be suitable for Sam. In their very first meeting today, Sam and Jenny were getting attracted to each other. Anyway, Sam is alone after his divorce, although for now, neither of them says anything. Sam was just leaving for home with his medicines when he got a call from Officer Victor, who gives him some shocking news. He told him that the owner of the company who had previously died at his home, now the director of the same company, has also been shot by someone, and Victor had met this director just yesterday. So Sam immediately arrives at the crime scene, and here he smelled and instantly knew that this body has the same smell of the killer who killed the previous owner, although this time he used a gun to kill. Strangely, This director had the same bag of money in his hand that the killer had stolen from the company owner's house. And from this, Sam understood everything. He explained how, according to him, the director and the killer worked together. The director paid this killer to first have his company's owner killed. But later today, when he came to collect the money from the killer's greed got the better of him, and he shot the director and ran away. Hearing Sam's theory, a forensics detective now starts laughing aloud. He said that he has 20 years of experience solving cases like this, so how could Sam tell all this just by smelling? And he thought Sam seemed like a psycho. He still doesn't know Sam's ability. Meanwhile, Sam, using the killer's new scent, figures out that he had come from playing a paintball game at a nearby center today. Just then, the police found plastic and scrap paper in the killer's bag. Now Sam goes home and starts researching it. A little later, he called Victor and told him that there is only one center in their entire city where titanium oxide is used in the paint, and the scrap paper warehouse is right next to it, which means the killer must be there. So, Sam and Victor immediately went to that location. After arriving here, Sam starts sniffing around the center to find the same cigarette smell that he had smelled at the company owner's house. Then a 50-year-old man arrived, and Sam's suspicion fell on him immediately. But since everyone here is sweating right now, he first has to pretend to play the game to confirm that this is the killer. After which, everyone at the center puts on their helmets and then they start playing a paintball game with their guns. Whereas Sam only needed to confirm the smell of cigarettes and nicotine here, which he did in a short while, meaning that's the killer. But just as he stood up and was telling Officer Victor about the killer, someone shot Sam with a paintball, and the killer also overheard that Sam and the police had come here looking for him. So he started to run away, but Officer Victor doesn't let him go and, after chasing him, finally arrests him. With Sam's help, police finally solved another case, but once he was free, his ex-wife suddenly contacted him that their son, Alex, has been arrested by the police on charges of murdering a dealer. Hearing this, Sam and Victor now quickly go to the police station. The police chief revealed to them that Alex had killed a drug dealer, and when the police arrived, Alex was standing right next to the body with a gun in his hand. However, Sam is not ready to believe that his son could kill someone. Just a few days ago, he had taken the fall at school to save his friend. The strange thing now is that the police chief won't let Sam meet his son, because the chief thought that the father and son would make a plan together, and then Alex would deny his crime. But Sam couldn't digest this fact at all. He had helped the police solve so many cases, yet they are treating him this way. So he now removes his nose clip and takes a deep breath. Then he started to tell the police chief about himself by smelling him, how he is 45 years old and has no wife or children. He has never smoked in his life, and his body smells of bees, meaning he also has a bee farm. Now, hearing this, the police chief is also stunned because every single thing Sam said about him was true. After this, Sam says angrily that even if he isn't allowed to meet his son, he will find out the truth of this case. After which, Sam and Victor left for the crime scene. Inspector Victor had also decided to help Sam, despite the police chief's refusal, because he trusts Sam. Now the two friends sneak into the same house where the crime happened, so Sam starts to visualize all the events by smelling here as well. He found out that Alex was present here at the time of the murder, but Alex was lying unconscious on the ground at that time, and someone had deliberately placed the gun in his hand. When the police arrived here, besides Alex, the police chief and 2 paramedic nurses were also present in the house, which is completely normal because the police would have come here for the investigation. But Sam still felt something was wrong, so he takes a deep breath again. Luckily, this time he caught the scent of a gunman who is about 35 to 37 years old. Next, Sam smells the back of a floor lamp there and then reveals that someone had hidden 3 kilos of drugs behind this lamp. So, according to Sam, the same killer committed the murder for these 3 kilos of drugs and then framed his son, Alex. So both of them will have to find him, and then they went out. On the other hand, the police chief found out from a neighbor that Inspector Victor had taken Sam with him to the same crime location without permission. So the police chief immediately calls Victor's supervisor and orders him to suspend Inspector Victor for a few days so that he doesn't interfere in their investigation. This news upset both Sam and his ex-wife because the police were not letting them do anything for strange reasons. But why this is so is a big secret that will be revealed later in the story. Then, after a while, a man comes to Sam's house to meet him. He revealed that he was in jail with his son, Alex, and that he knows about the real killer. Meaning, he can save his son, but in exchange for revealing the killer's name, he wants a full 1 million rupees. To confirm, Sam now smells this man and catches the scent of his son, Alex. Meaning, he was really in jail with his son, Alex. So Sam immediately went to get the money for him. Just then, the man takes advantage of being alone and starts stealing the golden cups kept in Sam's house. Meanwhile, Sam comes out with the money and gives the man only 900,000 rupees instead of 1 million. Then Sam said that the one golden cup he stole is worth 100,000 rupees, and he can tell everything about his theft by smelling it. But just then, the man headbutts Sam hard on the nose, picks up the cup again, and runs out without saying anything. A short while later, when Victor found out about Sam, he immediately rushes him to the hospital. Today, it was Dr. Jenny again, to whom Sam is already attracted, so he started to hold her hand. But then Sam realized that he could no longer smell Jenny. So Sam picks up the oranges he has with him and tries to smell them, but for some strange reason, he couldn't smell anything now. And from here, Sam understood everything. How that thief was deliberately sent to his house by someone to hit him on the nose and destroy his ability to smell, so he couldn't solve this case or save his son. Meaning, this whole case is much more complicated than he thought. Meanwhile, Officer Victor gets the thief's address and goes to ask him who sent him to Sam's house. But as soon as Victor reached the thief's house, he was shocked to see that someone had already killed the thief. And with that, the last hope of saving Alex was gone. Victor tells Sam after the thief's death, from which Sam understood that the real mastermind killer of this case had the thief break his nose and then had the thief killed, destroying all the evidence. Just then, Victor gets a call and learns that right after the murder happened, the police chief never went to the crime scene. Instead, he sent a paramedic team on his behalf. Meanwhile, Sam was surprised to hear this because when he went to the dealer's house, he had also smelled the police chief there. From which Sam immediately understood that the second gunman in that house was none other than the police chief himself. And from here, everything slowly started to make sense to Sam. How the police chief had always known about his ability to smell, so he deliberately sent that thief to his house and damaged his nose, so that Sam couldn't investigate his son's case and couldn't catch him. Meaning, the police chief is the real killer who first killed the dealer and then framed Sam's son, Alex, for the crime. Then this means that the more than 3 kilos of drugs kept behind that lamp must be with the police chief. So now, if they find the more than 3 kilos of drugs, which they know the police chief has, they will have all the evidence. Here, even though Sam has lost his ability to smell for a while, his mind is still very sharp. Now, Sam knew that the police chief had a bee farm, so he was very hopeful that the chief had hidden the more than 3 kilos of drugs there, where no one would suspect. So, Sam and Victor first hire a hacker. Then, both of them disguise themselves so that no one could recognize them. After this, both of them went in disguise to the police chief's bee farm, where they installed CCTV cameras everywhere. Then, according to their plan, to frame the chief's neighbor, they threw a stone at the farm's window, broke the glass, and ran away. This made the neighbor think that some thieves had broken into the farm, so she immediately called the police chief. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Sam and Victor ran to the hacker, who was hiding a short distance from the bee farm. Next, the hacker connects all the cameras to his laptop, meaning the recording of everything started. On the other hand, as soon as the police chief heard the news of the theft, he rushed to his farm. Oddly now he skips the farmhouse and heads straight for Beehive Box. Actually, this was the place where he had hidden more than 3 kilos of drugs, and when he found out that thieves had broken into his farm, he got scared that they might have taken his drugs. But he didn't know that this was all a trap by Sam and Victor. And now, falling into this trap, he was recorded on camera with the drugs. But just then, his attention is drawn to the camera. Meanwhile, Sam and Victor now had all the evidence against the police chief. So they started packing up to leave quickly. But just then, the chief arrived and pointed a gun at all of them. He said that he would kill them both so that no evidence remained against him. But just then, the hacker sneaks up behind the police chief and slams his briefcase open, which distracts the chief. Just then, Sam takes advantage of this distraction, attacks the chief, and overpowers him. By now, the police had also arrived because Victor had already called them. And now, they had all the evidence against the police chief. They found out that the police chief had been taking money from the drug dealer for a long time to protect him. But that day, Alex accidentally walked in on the meeting between the police chief and the dealer and saw them together. That's why the police chief first killed the dealer and then framed Alex for his murder. This is also why he wasn't letting Sam meet his son in the beginning. Then he sent a thief to Sam's house to break his nose so that he couldn't find out anything. But now, after the truth was revealed, the police chief is arrested. Meanwhile, Alex was released. After solving his son's case, Sam now rests at his home for a whole month so that his nose can heal as soon as possible, and could once again help the police in solving crimes. Luckily, within a few weeks, his ability to smell returned. But no, while Sam was resting at his home, a mysterious package arrived for him. Sam opened the box. Inside were a pen and paper. Oddly, the pen had no smell at all. On the paper, only 2 words were written: "Save her." So Sam immediately calls Victor and tells him about this letter. Now, this letter had no smell, but he was getting a faint smell from the silver pen. And according to Sam, this smell belongs to a blonde-haired woman between the ages of 25 and 30. Additionally, the pen had a faint smell of a horse stable and peppermint. And from this, Sam and Victor immediately figured out the location. But by the time they reached that location, the woman was already dead. Now Sam sniffs the body for a scent, but he doesn't find any fragrance of the killer, and he finds this very strange. Just then, Sam got a call from the girl's killer. He said that Sam has sent many to jail so far, but if he has the guts, he should catch him by sniffing him out. And this is just the beginning. He will kill many more. Meanwhile, Sam gets very angry hearing this. It was clear to him that this killer was targeting only Sam. And he already knows about his smelling ability, so he is doing everything with full preparation. But why? That's what Sam wanted to know. Just then Victor finds a second box at the crime scene. Sam sniffs it again, but there's still no scent on it. Inside were the same 2 things, where it was written on the paper that he is right here, around them, whereas this time, the pen had a mixed smell of engine oil and gasoline. Actually, it was the smell of a motorboat engine, along with rotten wood found in lakes and ponds. This meant that the next target was a boatman. Along with the pen, there was also the scent of shampoo, from which Sam guessed that this time the target was a man about 50 years old with gray hair. So both of them immediately go to the only lake in this town, and they finally located the boatman. But a little later, Sam finds the same man dead in a small boat. This time too, there was no smell of the killer on his body. Sam started to wonder if this killer was someone he had once sent to jail and was now taking revenge on him. Meanwhile, the killer changed his phone number again and called Sam. He said that if he couldn't save his next target, then he would start killing his family members. Whereas Sam doesn't want to be helpless in front of him anymore. This time, he was not facing an ordinary killer, but a killer who knew everything about Sam. Meanwhile, the police tried to find information about the person who sent the letter, but they found nothing. Strangely, the delivery company also had no information, as if the package had suddenly appeared out of thin air. Also, the phone number calling Sam was new every time, so it couldn't be traced. Then, after some time, the third package finally arrived. Again, there was still no smell on the paper. But this time, the pen had the scent of a woman between 30 and 35 years old. There was also the smell of a substance used in making new shoes. From this, Sam guessed that the killer's next target would be in a shopping mall. Luckily, the police immediately found the location and took Sam there. Then they go straight to a rent counter where a blonde woman was working. So Sam thought that perhaps she was the killer's next target. Her age and gender matched everything. So Victor tells his men to keep an eye on that woman so they can catch the killer this time. But just then, Sam gets a call from the killer, asking how the pizza is. Sam immediately understood that he had made a mistake again. Then someone screamed loudly inside the mall, and they saw that a worker was tied up, whose uniform the killer had stolen and worn, and he went upstairs towards a beauty salon. Then it struck Sam that the substance is used not only in shoes, but also in beauty products. A woman also works at the beauty salon, which means the killer was deliberately misleading him. He is very intelligent, and by the time Sam reached the shop with the police, their third target had also been killed. Here, on a paper near the body, it was written that Sam couldn't save her either. And now his next target will be someone Sam knows. In anger, Sam tears the paper and starts shouting loudly because he couldn't do anything. Now, after seeing the deaths of 3 victims, Sam decided that he would quit his detective work. This killer has defeated him in terms of intelligence. Still, Sam thinks of making one last attempt. He researched all night. And in the end, he finally understands why he couldn't smell the killer until now. Actually, he was using a chemical on himself that masked his smell. So Sam now starts to find a solution for that chemical. Just then, the 4th box also arrived at the police station. However, this time Sam had found the trick, so he uses his newly created chemical, which finally allows him to smell zinc from the paper. In fact, this was the same deodorant that the killer used to erase his smell from the letters. Whereas this time, the pen had the smell of an 8 to 9-year-old girl who learns dance. The pen also had the smell of wood. So Sam guessed that there was a wood shop near the school, and the police finally found the location of an art school. But then Sam remembered the incident at the mall. The killer had misled him before too. Could the killer be doing the same thing to him this time as well? So he now uses his new chemical again and sensed that the smell of wood was fake, meaning the girl's school was not this one but another school in town. The killer had intentionally added the smell of wood so that Sam would think the opposite again. But this time, Sam figured out his trick, and he quickly reached the other school with the police and saved the girl just in time. Then, this time, there was no call from the killer because he had lost. Sam now smells the paper again, from which a smell slowly started to spread. And Sam began to understand that the killer was none other than the very first delivery man, meaning the one who had come to deliver the parcel to him that day was doing everything. So, at Sam's behest, Victor immediately traces his address and reaches her husband, but the killer had already fled from there. Here, on the wall in front, were posters of Sam with holes poked in the eyes and nose. The meaning was clear. The killer hated Sam. Then the killer called, and on his direction, Sam found the 5th pen, and when Sam smelled the pen, he was shocked. Because this smell was none other than Dr. Jenny's. The same Jenny who had been getting close to Sam for some time, and Sam liked her too. So Sam was now filled with anger. He told the killer that if he even touched Jenny, he wouldn't spare him. But the killer was not one to be scared. He said, "Hello, and do your worst." Then he called Sam to a location he specified, and if Sam didn't come there alone, he would kill the hostage Jenny. Victor now immediately surrounds that location with police. Then he sent Sam in wearing a Bluetooth headset and a bulletproof vest. Now Sam goes into the building and sees that the killer had tied Jenny to a chair. Just then, the killer himself came inside, although he was not yet in the sniper's line of sight. So Inspector Victor told Sam on the headset to take 2 steps back, but doing so made the killer understand, and he hid in the blind spot again. He said that Sam is very smart, but not smarter than him. Then he revealed that all the people he had killed so far were all burdens on the world, like the child Sam had saved yesterday. She has a fatal disease and won't live for long anyway. Instead, she is wasting the government's money and medicines. His other 3 previous victims were also tax evaders or drug addicts, and according to him, by killing such people, he is cleaning the world of trash. He said that when he found out about Sam, that he could solve any case by smelling things, he became obsessed with defeating Sam. But last time, Sam finally figured out his trick, and Sam now smells him and starts telling about him. How this killer has been living completely alone for the past 10 years. No one has ever loved him, nor does he do any work, due to which his mental condition has deteriorated because of loneliness. So the real trash was him. Hearing that, the killer snapped in rage. He was still well outside sniper range there. Then the shooter saw that he had a bomb detonator in his hand. And the killer now gives that detonator to Sam. He threatened that if he moved away from Jenny with it, the bomb would explode, and the killer himself started to leave. Then Sam used his mind and sensed that there was no smell of electricity in the detonator, which meant the bomb was a fake. He realized that the killer had escaped by tricking him, and he immediately ran after the killer. Victor arrives later, but by then everything's already over. Sam finally caught this killer and was beating him because he had taken so many lives in his madness. In the end, Sam goes to Dr. Jenny. He finally saved Dr. Jenny's life, and the 2 are now together forever. And with this happy ending, the entire series ended right here. So, what was the most interesting case you found in this series that Sam solved? Be sure to tell us in the comments.